Of course, at Magnite, you guys represent publishers across the board, in terms of different media. Tell us about sort of the evolution of omnichannel planning as something we've talked about. Where does that stand?
Yeah, so this is really in progress, but this is our thesis as a merger. So when we took Telaria, really the number one connected TV supply side platform, and merged it with Rubicon Project, which is really the number one platform for omni-channel, not including connected TV, and put that together, you've got a real powerhouse in the business. And this has been our thesis. And what we're doing is working with our buyers and how they can look at one buy holistically, how they can look at audience holistically, and not just I need to buy a platform, but now I need to find the audience, and almost getting into this platform agnostic approach where I could find moms, or I could find whatever addressable target or audience-based target you're looking for, any platform, any time of the day, whether desktop, whether mobile, whether connected TV, whether video, really, it doesn't matter. We believe over time, you will see more and more of these type of buys where a campaign or a buyer will come in and say, I just need to reach this. How can you, Magnite, find that through your programmatic pipes and the reach and the scale that you get across all your different premium publishers? And we'll be able to do that. Again, tying it all together, one buy for advertisers. We're having more and more of these discussions. There's more and more campaigns that are starting to do this and start to kind of prove the thesis of our merger, which is incredibly exciting. And yeah, this is where the business is going to start to go, Andy, and especially now with automation behind it and the programmatic pipes, which is what we do well and we specialize in. It's just going to make buying faster, optimization quicker, the ability to, from pitch to pay, the entire process and procedure will just be a faster, more cohesive buy or more cohesive discussion with buyers. So very exciting, Andy, and it's really all just starting to come together.
So, Adam, today we're going to talk a little about healthcare, which is a massive category on television, starting to migrate to OTT. Tell us, what's going on from, the Magnite's perspective in terms of the opportunities for publishers working with brands, pharmaceuticals who have particular needs, objectives, and also certain restrictions around privacy and length and so on. So, give us sort of the overview of pharma coming to OTT.
Yeah, so you've hit on quite a few of them in your question, Andy. Look, all sectors, all categories are really starting to get into connected TV, and pharma is a big one that we're excited to see more of that demand come into the space, and more of that demand trying to become not just into CTV or OTT, but also through the programmatic rails. Look, a couple of things that you hit on that is so important about pharmaceutical is privacy is number one, right? Not just from a legal perspective, but also from an ethical aspect as well. And to making sure that we are do right by our clients, which we always do, but pharma in particular, just in terms of the data and the information that it deals with, to just, with kid gloves, to make sure that privacy is compliant and everything is properly seen through. Incredibly important. The length of the spots you mentioned, Andy. The relationships with pubs is very important to get clearance, because a lot of the spots in pharma are 1 minute spots, 45-second spots, longer than just 30, because they have those disclaimers that many of the spots have to air. So that gets more hand-holding and more attention to just get the clearance that you'll need to get for these longer length spots across our publisher base. Additionally, the content, dealing with premium, always important. Of course, that's who we deal with mostly, but making sure that the content and the of the ad with the content to the publisher matches appropriately, because again, pharma is so important from a privacy perspective and from the length of spots, and you got to make sure that it matches appropriate with the content itself. And then lastly, of course, scale. With the finite targeting that a lot of these buyers are doing, and really through addressable advertising and doing a one-to-one relationship, scale is incredibly important. And these are very finite targets that a lot of these pharmaceuticals are doing. And of course, as I said, privacy compliant, but very detailed and needed. So that just makes the addressable aspect of it and be able to have scale so important. And now with connected TV and over the top, and of course bringing omnichannel into play, that just makes the scale so much bigger, where we're such a wonderful partner to work with.
So, Adam, could you just explain a little bit about the formats of the spots that you guys are dealing with and the range of media that pharma companies can get, and sort of what works, what flows through the programmatic pipes?
Yeah, so pharma companies or DSPs like a Deep Intent can utilize all our different programmatic solutions or publishers for live linear. So the spots that are running within a linear program that you would see on traditional television or CTV, OTT, as well as pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll. We have desktop, we have display, we have audio, we have digital out of home. Really any outlet that an advertiser is looking for, we can go ahead and provide that to our partners and to the DSPs. So we're a one-stop shop, a one-stop omni-channel solution for these buyers. And for pharma in particular, and for DSPs like Deep Intent, it's just great to look at our entire portfolio, where they can find the proper audience that they're addressing and targeting, because it's such a finite target, where they can get their longer spots out because of the disclaimers and the clearance that they're looking for, and how they can be in top tier premium content that we supply across all these different outlets and platforms.